Greetings, my friends. I'm Gilles Mansillon. I come to speak about transcendental psychology, the spiritual way. It's only a perception, a vision. It's only about an angle. We only have our own perception of things, and there are infinite number of perception. We're coming into this very powerful opening a gateway of the August 8th portal. So we want to be ready for that, and it's very important to be very determined in relationship to what we want, to be resilient and to have stamina, and not to allow the bumps along the road to detach us. For me, it's like my ability to return to center is really when my power, when I don't know, my mind is lost somewhere, I can always return to center and find the guidance to move forward. For the lower mind is not able, will not be able in this higher frequency to manifest what we need to manifest. It is an illusion. Control is an illusion. For only power is the creator. It is God who gives us, grant us certain experiences when we, depending on our consciousness and the flow and the experiences that we chose for our evolutions. But the lower mind is completely unable to manifest the higher reality we seek. But the higher mind, the higher self, is completely able to provide that at the right time. So trust your higher self. You are your higher self. You are your soul and your spirit. There is only one great universal soul, but you are a unique soul, unique beings in the whole universe of universes. There is not two like us. So the universe would not be the universe if we were not present, created by the Creator. Sorry, I left the window open. There is children outside, but for the freedom will come from finding our own soul, and we will be delivered by our own soul, our immortal, divine part of ourselves. For what we are, in truth, is just a sub-branch of a great tree. Our soul is like a great tree, and the trunk and the root, and it's got many branches, and each branch has many, many sub-branches, and we need to reintegrate the branch and the trunk and the root is created by our beliefs, our foundation, our value, our principle, our ability to stay honest, to stay true, to develop love, compassion, to be lucid, to have wisdom, as well as to be courageous, to be able to face our own shadows and demons and limitations, to transcend them. So once we find ourselves, we find God, we find our true self, we find our soul is connected eternally to the divine mind, to the cosmic mind, and that's where it draws in all the experience to provide for all that is our physical, mental, emotional, and astral spiritual experiences. So for all souls are connected, and they all have access to the Akash. So they're all working together. In truth, there is only one great universal soul, and we are a unique expression of that soul. We are the totality of God already. But the illusions of duality and separation will continue for all who needs it. But for us, we need to break free of that. Even if we're not understood or accepted by others, we cannot fulfill the expectation of everybody. For everybody, there is a great deal of diversity in the field of consciousness on the planet Earth, and so we just got to be true to ourselves, and we will attract the right people and the consonant frequencies and the people that match our frequency and can resonate with our vibration, ideas, thoughts, and directions. And so, because when we look at the world, we do need a change. I mean, the world is awakening. The mass populations are awakening, and we see that the majority of world leaders are not working for the highest good of all. They're not working for their population. Their sole interest is self-gratification. It is to stay in power without understanding or consider the consequences of their actions. But they will have to face the consequences of their actions. But a lot of people on the highest level of power are very power hungry. They're very egocentrical. We're going to need to find leaders that are purely in service, that are transparent, that are not here for self-aggrandizement. Although we have to take care of ourselves first. If you have a business, pay yourself first before you pay your bill. You deserve, when you do work, it's like you deserve to be rewarded for all that you do. But what I mean is that if we offer service to the leadership is the greatest service that we can offer. Plato used to say that if a philosopher that denies the ability, does not want to come into politics, he may be ruled by people that are inferior in consciousness than he is. But he never really actually went into politics. It was Pericles who was the powerful man of the time, which he invented democracy. Plato did not like that because democracy can become a tyranny when the republic, I'm going to discuss a bit of that, this principle of the republic, cannot become a tyranny because it is the rulership of wisdom. So, so it's we're still praying for divine assistance and intervention in our own life. We do want this personal breakthrough, as well as we're also asking for world peace, for collective liberation, and that will accumulate in a solar flash that will greatly assist. But we cannot know when and how will this happen. So we need to focus on our own self mastery, the integration of the seven dimension mastery, become the eye of God anchored in eternity. That is the angelic frequency in the service in the hands of God into reality, and that is coming. We're integrating those new energies. For the past mistakes were actually stepping stone to our success. And all the failures and all the errors were actually preparation for our success to come. If we didn't make those failures, we learn so much more from our failure than our success. And it's really, if we didn't make those mistakes, we believe, well, if we go back to the past, I can correct that, and I would have a much better, different experience. But you would not be where you are today. So you have to trust that the whole process of life, forgive yourself completely, and trust that everything had something to teach you. Once you make peace with all your past, you can be completely free to create a new future. And there is no competition or rushing towards the ascension. It's all about a co-creative process, and everybody's on different levels. So just there is no comparison. We cannot compare ourselves. We all there is infinite diversity here. We're just flowers in the garden of God, and it's like every flower is beautiful. Every flower is not in competition with the other flower. It's turning towards the light of the sun, and it shines. It's very happy. It smells good. It is beautiful, and so there is no competition there. And just be yourself. For it's like because the human consciousness always focus on surface consciousness, the manifested level of reality, but the inner self continue to reveal truth, beauty, and goodness. Whenever it comes from the higher self, it's always about truth, beauty, and goodness. Those were Christian values, or religious values in general. But Plato wrote this book called The Republic that's very about setting the ground for those truth, beauty, and goodness. Art was given to reveal beauty, philosophy was given to reveal goodness, and science was given to reveal truth. Eventually, truth, beauty, and goodness are the values of the Supreme. Then when we look into transcendent and ultimate, it's beyond truth, beyond beauty, and beyond goodness. But first we need to integrate those before we can move on to the next level. For the earth stage, the theater of life in this realm it's controlled and orchestrated by the dark controllers outside and by the soul inside. So there is always the opposition of those two forces that God has allowed, the soul and the spirit inside, to create a powerful dynamic in evolution. And we have a soul and we have a spirit. We are a soul and we are a spirit. Oh, the little child is crying. Sorry. But understand there is only one universal soul, and all is impacting all, and there is only the infinite spirit, which is there is the Holy Spirit on the level of our local universe, but the infinite spirit is in relationship to all of life, is the mother of the mother, so to speak, and she's got only one limitation, is that there can be only one infinite spirit. That's the third person of deity, the conjunct actor, the third deity, the third person of deity on paradise. And we're all growing within that mind spirit of God. We're all evolving and growing within the infinite diversity of the omnidimensional reality of the Creator. There's countless spirit that is the world of spirit is so rich, so vast, and to be on paradise or to be ascended means to be always connected to a vast array of higher consciousness that have grace, beauty, wisdom, that are always present within our consciousness, that are able to. We need to move back into our connected self to practice the spiritual connection, which is so vast, so rich, and so it's something to look forward to our return to ourself, to this higher consciousness level. Consciousness is slowly but surely awakening to these higher spiritual connections. And we're growing and evolving within an already perfect spiritual mind of God. But I still think that for myself, I'm still reacting to my environment. It's like to my physical reality rather than jumping into the creation mode of what is revealed from within. Not I'm doing that very often and I feel it more and more, but it's still very difficult. Before that, I had very little resources in life, but I had an extremely good quality of life. It was like I was living as if I had a lot of resources, although I had very little. But now it's like I have no resources and I'm being asked to act like I have everything, I have it all. But it's coming. I do feel it, and I know I've been there. I mean, I've lived in palace and drink expensive champagne every day and party all night and do all that. And I've had those deep intimacy, this deep feeling of deep connections, and all of that is about recalling memories. For we all have a different thing that we seek in life, but it is very much about there is all memories that can activate potential as well as new energies that can be revealed in our experience. Because the lower mind will always remind us of our physical reality and the past conditioning. So we have to be very determined, very disciplined to stay focused on our goal and to align with the higher self, which has one goal and purpose at the end is to liberate us. So we have to feel, it feels really good to feel those new energies, to be honest. For I feel more and more this sense of intimacy with all of life, with life. There is to feel the inner, what's going on within all of life. It's an amazing privilege. Got all kinds of wisdom and information, but we're tuning it to that progressively. And I have the soul connections. It's like I feel she could have helped me a lot more than she did, but so it is. And I feel like, God, I think that she will come to my life once I achieved my goal of freedom. At which point I won't need her that much anymore, because I needed her now. But God really wants us to be together, so we'll see. I'll still see what comes out of that when the time comes. I'm learning to be detached. That's what the Spirit has told me, to be detached. But because I do feel the Spirit is still committed to see us together. It's like very, very strong energy potential. And I have also soul connection. That's quite amazing. But I don't really know how those will go. They're not as deep. So it's like there is love always in connections. So it's very important to take chances and to try to it's better to try and fail than to not try anything at all and regret it later. Because there was this philosopher named Kierkegaard. He was saying, if you get up in the morning, you might regret it because something bad may happen. But if you don't get up in the morning, you're going to regret it because you'll never know what something good could happen as well. So no matter what you do, so just do it. It's better to, we really have to go for it in life and to just make a leap of faith, to be audacious, to be daring. And just the same in the relationship to God and Spirit. If you're doing something wrong, you will get a reflection, you will get a feeling, you will have an opportunity to correct. So it's better to try. Just do not be. Well, you don't have to try. Just do what's in your heart, in your soul, in your mind, and see what happens. There is always a reflection from the universe. So, but be bold, be audacious, and do not be fearless, and make leaps of faith. It's very, very important to be constant, to be determined, and to have stamina, and to allow to always be able to return to center and focalize on what is true within for you. Because we're all different, we all have different goals in life. So Well, I hope this message was interesting. I thank you very much. Not to forget to subscribe, to like, to share, to comment. I thank you so very much for your donations. If you want a private session, consultation, you can send me an email. I want to sing a song, pull out some cards. I wanted to show some new paintings that are made. Those little paintings, there's not really that much light here, but they're very subtle. It means if you look at it for 20 seconds, you're going to see something. But if you look at it for 10 minutes, there is all kinds of things that are coming up. I'm sorry, I should close the window. There's this child that seems to be miserable. It's hard to come into the physical body. Sometimes the children they're not used to so much limitations. Our souls seems very ethereal. But there's all kinds of little stories in them that if I see, I'm gonna test them out. I'm gonna watch them all, and before I frame them or catalog them, I'm gonna make sure they're all on the same. They're all just as high in terms of vibration and energy and imagery. There's all kinds of details, and sometimes when I look at the small works, but they're like one thing leads to something else, and then you see something else, and then it's a whole. The more you look at it, the more they're very sad. Also, the more the time you spend looking at it. This one was from an interior. I'm going to keep it like that. I think it's like this lady here in the gallery in a fusion with that painting. And those were, I started some canvases. They're not finished. Take a little bit longer, the canvases. This one I was going to rework with magenta and blue, but I said, no, this one's too nice. I can't touch it. There is already an harmony within that. A great deal of life and flow. If you're interested in paintings, feel free to send me an email. I love to find them good homes. The colors are kind of nicer than on the video or even photos. They're more live, more vibrant, of course, but they give you the video or the photo gives a good idea. Well, my friends, I'm going to pull some cards and then I'll finish with a song. What the Spirit says, but it's not necessary to make a video today, but I sometimes that's what I make it. I could have meditated instead, but here I am. And the card of the day is the milk and honey, all those wonderful things that are coming. Focus on the good things out of life. There is so many wonderful things. Allow yourself to dream, to inform the universe what you really want. Your spirit guides will assist you in bringing it forward. The higher wisdom is peace. Continue to cultivate the sense of inner peace, inner balance, harmony. What needs to be understood is there is the urgency of time and there is the eternal moment of now. TikTok is this eternal. Time will always go on the horizontal plane, the cross of matter, but there is always the eternal pillar of light on the vertical axis, and freedom will always be found on the vertical axis. What we need to do is deep knowledge, to continue to rely on what's coming from within, this inner connection, this deep knowledge that comes. It's not something we can learn in books. It's something that is unfolding from within. And the outcome is, may the truth be. The truth shall set you free, and the truth will come. There is so much truth that is self-revealing and continue to be revealed, and it's going to come into the world. The world will be shocked when there is higher truths that come into their consciousness. They've been used. They're not all going to understand, and they're not going to be all going to approve. And so. And so we cannot please everybody. Just to sign on self, be true. Even your quirks, your imperfection, all those things are part of what will attract people to you. Your real soul connection. They will accept you as you are. Those who cannot are not for you, and so it's okay. There's plenty of people. Can't meet them all. There's 8 billion people. If we meet 10,000 people during our lifetime, and we have a few hundred people that we really commune with, it's a lot already. So plenty of choice, and there's a lot of wonderful people we have never met yet on this planet that God is keeping for us to meet later on, because a lot of the joy and in life comes from meeting people. Is what enrich life. No man is an island, and we're really depending, and so on each other to find, to share, to create, and there is a soon return to social life. It's going to be quite exciting. Well, we finish with this song. It's a pretty happy song. It's from the crooner period. It's called "Fly Me to the Moon." Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with songs and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Fill my heart with songs and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Must be tough to have children. I know it's pretty scheduled that I may have children in the future. Well, I have already children, but I didn't raise them, so those ones I have to raise. It's going to be quite challenging. But they say when it's your children, it's a lot easier than it with somebody else's children. So we'll see how life will unfold and what will happen. Well, thank you very much, my friends. I wish you a wonderful day. I thank you so very much for your support, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.